how to become a money magnet. If this is something that you want to learn about, this is something that you would like to achieve in life, listen to this live. It all comes back to the way that we think, the people that we surround ourselves with, the energy all around us, and the energy, more importantly, and most importantly, the energy we project. So if you want to learn this, sit and listen to this live because it's going to be fun. I became a real money magnet yesterday. I mean, I didn't become one yesterday, but yesterday I was more of a money magnet than I had been in several days. What's up, family? Um, and the reason why I became a money magnet yesterday, I'm a money magnet every day, but yesterday was because I listened to a billionaire affirmations tape from YouTube for 8 hours while I was asleep. And I do that every night. But I picked a different one. I was like, let me read the comments. Let me see what people are saying about this. And people are like, I woke up the next day and someone wrote me a check for this amount of dollars. I woke up the next day or 2 days later and I was offered more money at my job. So I was like, okay, let's play with this one. Hello, everybody. So I listened to the billionaire affirmations tape, and yesterday was a great opportunity day. It was a great day where people were just offering money for things. And I was like, I did listen to the billionaire's tape last night. So what I'm going back to is everything starts in the mind. And when you are listening, which is why it's so important, you're not actively listening. Your subconscious mind is absorbing the information that it's hearing while you are asleep. It's programming your mind to have a wealth or abundance mindset. What's up, Benny? That is the same thing no matter what you do in life. It is programming of the mind. Everything, like I said before, everything is sending out a signal. Just like your cell phone is sending out a signal, looking for a signal from a tower. You're sending out signals so that you can get that information that your phone needs for it to work. It's the same thing with your mind. You're constantly sending out an energetic signal that finds the like things to attach itself to and bring it back to you, like your cell phone does with a tower. So if you're constantly sending out the signal of life is too hard, money is so hard to make, I never have enough money, wow, I'm really so broke, I can't believe I'm so broke this week, how am I going to pay my bills? We're always constantly sending out energy right into the field. And that energy just comes back as experiences in our life. I love how Instagram is playing with me this whole past week. Such bullshit. But anyway, we're constantly sending out a signal. And that signal, when it comes back, is experiences in our life. So if you want to have different experiences, the signal you're sending out has to change and be different as well. If we don't change the signal, we can't just I wish my life was better, and then spend the entire day putting out the energetic signal of negativity, putting out the energetic signal of I don't have this, putting out the energetic signal of I'll never find love, I'll never find a great relationship. If that is your energetic signal, the only thing it can send back is the same thing in return. We don't throw out the energy of lack and get back abundance. When we send out the energy of abundance, like everything works out for me. I have all the things that I need. I'm so grateful that I have every single thing that I need, even if you have nothing. If you're changing the signal and the energy, you're changing the reward that comes back. What most people don't know or understand is that manifesting is a word, but it's the energy that just is. You have energy as long as you're alive. When you don't have energy anymore, you're dead. So as long as you have energy in your body, you're manifesting. How? I'm not trying to do anything. Your energy speaks for you. It's not necessarily the act of doing. I'm trying to look for a better job. I'm trying to look for a better partner. It's the energy that you're putting out there that is getting you the things that you're having now. So if you want to be magnetized to money, you can't sit there every single day and be like, oh, it must be nice. I can't afford this. What do you think? Money grows on trees? I wish I could have a new car, but my job just doesn't pay me enough. Hey girl, how are you? I've been really trying to not be negative. It's hard. No kidding. But as I was saying, it is very difficult to rewire the subconscious mind because it is a supercomputer. You have this programming of negativity that you've had your entire life. That shit is not easy to get rid of. You know when you're deleting files in your phone? And like you have all these big files that you're deleting because your phone's telling you don't have enough memory. You have to click on all of them, and then you have to press delete. And then you see it's going up to 100%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 35, 38, 67, whatever, up to 100. That's what our mind is doing, but at a much slower pace. When we're trying to delete these programs that we've had forever, when it comes to especially around finances, these poverty mindsets or victim mentalities, it's so hard to get rid of years or decades worth of these belief systems, right? Karen in the house. When we have these deeply rooted belief systems, yes, they're going to be resistant to change. Yes, they're going to say, I'm just doing this to protect you. Yes, it's going to tell you, don't buy that, you can't afford it. But as long as you stay in the mentality of, I can't have, I wish this, why am I not good enough? You're only sending out the cell phone signal to the tower, and that tower is just going to give you back exactly what you're putting out. You're putting out the energy of lack, you're going to get lack back in experiences. You're putting out the energy of I can never meet a great person, you're going to get that back in the experiences that you have. So becoming a money magnet is actually easy. You reprogram the mind to think differently and believe differently, even if you don't have it. If you have $5 left in your bank account, there's still something that you could be grateful for. There's still something around you that you say, oh, I'm so grateful that I have these clothes that I can wear today. Putting out a different signal than, oh my God, I hate my life and I don't have any money. Totally different energy and signal that we're putting out. But in order to get started to becoming a money magnet, you have to realize first that you have a mentality that everything, you're victimized by everything in your life. That we blame everybody for all the things that we don't have. But it's only our energetic signal is the reason why we don't have the things that we want. We all have so much, yet we tend not to notice what we already have, like eyesight. We can walk, hear, speak. Those are all things to be grateful for that we just take for granted. It's just like we wake up and we're able to get up out of bed. We're able to do this. There's a lot of people that aren't able to do that. So finding the gratitude in whatever it is, the smaller things, is what changes your signal that goes out into the world, and it starts to adjust and it starts to change things. So when I fell asleep to the billionaire affirmations, and these things were playing in my mind all night. I wasn't actively listening, but my subconscious mind was. And that is the key to becoming a money magnet or to getting anything that you want, is changing the subconscious programming. When you're consciously awake, yes, you could start to think about different things and say different affirmations, do your visualizations consciously, but it all lives in the subconscious. The subconscious is impressed with repetitive thoughts. So if your whole life you thought about how awful your life is or how hard it is and why can't I have these things? You minimized yourself. You made yourself smaller. You programmed yourself to not be as big as you possibly can. Love this community. It seriously makes me so happy and attract great things. That's why we're here, is to literally change everything. And that goes for me too. It's not like I'm conscious of the things that I think of, right? I know I've done the work. I know everything about manifestation. But are there times in my day, every day, where a negative thought slips in? Or why is this happening? Or why is this person doing this? And I go back to the foundation of, I'm attracting these things to myself. So the sooner that we figure out or see or feel, damn, the signal I'm putting out today is a little negative. I need to change a few things. You have to have the conscious awareness. Okay, that thought's there. What am I going to do with it? I could say, you know what? You can go. Thank you for coming. Thank you for going. I got this from here. I'm going to have the best day. Something amazing is going to happen to me. And when we say those things, we have the expectations and the belief Something great's going to happen to me. Even if your life is shit and you just say, something good is going to happen to me today. Even though it seems like things are falling apart, something good is going to happen to me today. And you'll see when the something happens, whether it's so small and someone just says, hey, you look really nice today. Maybe that's the something great. You're just like, oh, okay, I am changing my energy. I am changing these things. And all of a sudden, my reality shifts. Even if it's the littlest thing, my reality shifts. Let's see. If money is your biggest problem, then you are already so blessed. Ben, I learned this week I don't need anything from anyone. Women in first time laughed at myself in 10 years. So, that is when we are peaceful within ourselves, it's so much easier to attract all the things that we would love to have in our life. Because when we're dependent upon our level of happiness or peace is being held in the hands of somebody else, and that someone else may be playing games with you, that someone else is not showing up properly for you, that someone else is maybe treating you like shit. If you are putting that in someone else's hands, you're never going to be able to have all the things that you want because it's always dependent upon someone else, when literally the answers are within ourselves. But what do you mean this person's treating me like shit? But what do you mean that person cheated on me? But what do you mean my boss is mean to me? But what do you mean I don't have the money? But what do you mean my car's breaking down? But what do you mean I'm not living in a safe environment? I'll say it again. The answer is inside of yourself, myself. There is no answer outside of us. There is no this person's treating me like this. There is no I'm not making enough money because my boss doesn't want to pay me more. The answers are coming from within yourself. You created every scenario in your life. If you're not making enough money, it's because of what your beliefs are around money. If you don't have the right relationship where a person's not showing up for you in the way that you want them to, it's because you believe that you're never supposed to be treated well. Maybe your whole life you were treated like shit. You weren't chosen. You were abandoned. Your family didn't love you the way that you needed to be loved. So that programming lives with you forever, and then that's what you attract. The answer is within you and me. It's not the person that's doing wrong to us. It is the energetic stamp that we're putting out into the universe. And the universe is just bringing us all the like things. Okay, I'm going to bring you a person that doesn't choose you because you don't believe that you should be chosen. Okay, I'm going to give you a job that doesn't pay you enough because you believe that money is so hard to make. You believe that you're supposed to not have money because your family was not wealthy. Christine. So if you go out into the world with that energy, that is the only energy that can be returned to you. If you believe that you're always victimized, the universe is going to find all the scenarios and people to make you a victim of your circumstances because you're creating those circumstances through your energy. And just like someone said in here, I forgot what I was going to say. All I could do was laugh and said, in the past, get mad. That's changing and shifting your energy. So if something used to make you angry all the time or sad all the time, and you no longer allow that because you're shifting and changing your energy, your reality is going to change because of that. So if you don't have the booming business, for example, and there's other people around you that are killing it, and you're sitting there saying, people just can't afford it right now. The economy is bad. It's just too expensive. I'll give you an example. The patches are life-changing, right? I had a massive headache today. I put the patches on. 2 minutes later, my headache, I have it a little bit. Maybe my headache is 80% gone. Probably a little bit more than that. When this morning I'm like, oh my God, my head is pounding, right? You have people that will say, oh, they're too expensive. I can't afford that. $99 a month. You are casting a spell with every word and thought that goes into your head or out of your mouth. If $99 a month is too expensive for you, you have to do some serious soul searching as to why You wouldn't be able to afford something that costs $99. It is your mentality. People pay more for Starbucks that is poisoning themselves every single day. You'll go and get your coffee though, won't you? You'll go and get your cigarettes. You'll go and get all the shit that you don't need and that's actually harming you rather than prioritizing your funds to something that can really change your life. So how we think about money is the reason why we have it or we don't. Nobody can argue that. I don't want to hear your shit because it just is. Energy just is. If your energy around money is that it's so hard, again, people can't afford it. The economy's really bad. We're going into a recession. It's not a good time for real estate. You shouldn't buy a house now. You shouldn't open a business. Why are people thriving right now and other people aren't? Their mindset. You can't argue it. That's it. That's what it is. It is your mentality. If you don't have all the things that you want, it's because you think that you can't. And everything is an excuse. I had someone that I was so close to, very talented human being, made an excuse for everything. Oh, but you should do this. These ideas are amazing. Yeah, but it's too expensive and people don't want to pay that, so I don't want to make something that's really cheap. Everything was a roadblock. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done trying to help people that don't want to help themselves. There are just some people that you can't help. There are just some people that don't want help because their story is so strong that they're struggling all the time, and that's their story. And they don't want to change it. They don't want to rewrite the chapter. They don't want to go to the next page. They want to stay in their misery because that's their story. People like that, I'm not trying to help. I'm not trying to convince. I don't give a shit because my energy is better spent with a person that's like, yes, I want help. Yes, I want to change my mindset. How do I do it? I want to be a student. I want to learn. I've studied this stuff for years. I have a million books. I've read, not all of them. I've read many pages of many of them. When you start to change your life. Libby in the house. Sherry, I am changing. That's it right there. Even if you think like, oh my God, I can never change this. I've been so sick for so long. It'll never happen. I am changing. So you're sending out the signal that like things are changing for me. Maybe I'm not sure what's going to happen. Maybe I'm not positive, but I am changing. I was listening to Neville Goddard yesterday. I listened to his lectures almost every day. And he was talking about the I am. This was from like December something, 1959. I was like, damn, this is crazy to listen to this. But he was saying the I am is God. Why would he say something like that? I am are the two most powerful words for what follows after them is what you become. Just like he talks about when Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Did Jesus mean that he was the way, the truth, and the life? Or did Jesus mean the I am is the way, the truth, and the life? You have to figure out what your I amness is. So that when you understand what your I amness is, which is like, do you say that I am lonely all the time? I'm sick all the time. I am not worthy. I am not valued. I'm so annoying. That was somebody's in here. I must have missed something that somebody said. Okay, Krystal, my boyfriend has a neighbor who practices witchcraft. I heard her casting spells on different apartments and he was losing a lot of money at the time and struggling with his finances. I prayed for him and declared otherwise for him, and that stopped. Casting spells is energy. And people that practice witchcraft are powerful because they know how to manipulate energy. But if you start practicing your own way of manipulating energy, you're not practicing witchcraft. It's all of your intention, what your intention is for something. But nobody can outpower your own energetic stamp for yourself unless you feel that you're inferior to your own energy and what you can do and how you can manipulate it. So if there's a person that is practicing witchcraft, that person's been practicing probably energy manipulation for a very long time. But until you understand your I amness, until you understand that you too can manipulate energy, no one can be more powerful at manipulating your own energy than yourself unless you hand them the keys and be like, My God, this person cast a spell on me. Do you understand that you're that powerful too? Do you understand that you can literally change your life starting right now listening to this? Oh, it's not, I'll start next week. It's not, I need to read more books. You can start shifting your energy right this minute. So now, do you change your mind feeling alone because I was closest with? How do you change that mindset feeling alone? Just me and my cat now. Again, if your I amness is I am so lonely, you can only attract more energy of loneliness because you're not going to attract another person into your life. You're not going to attract experiences that don't make you feel alone because your belief is I am alone and I am so lonely. It's only me and my cat. There's so many times where I'm just spending the entire day with Leo and I never ever feel lonely. I don't feel lonely ever. I don't feel lonely ever. Because I understand how to make myself happy. And that's the point that we should aspire to get to is our own happiness, self-happiness. Not that we have to have a person by our side, not that we have to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend all the time or constantly be in a relationship. Those are people that don't understand their own power and their own energy. So we have to shift from the mindset of I am so lonely to like, I'm so happy all the time. I'm so happy with every experience that I have in my life. Even if it's going to the grocery store and someone says to you, oh my God, I love your shirt today. And it just totally changes the trajectory of your day. So going back to becoming a money magnet, we talked about this book before, The Success Principles. Over the years of teaching and coaching people in my company and my seminars, I have found that one thing that seems to separate winners from losers more than anything else is that winners take action. They simply get up and do what has to be done. Once they've developed a plan, they get into motion. Even if they don't start perfectly, they learn from their mistakes, make the necessary corrections, and keep taking action. All the time building momentum until they finally produce the results that they set out to produce or something even better than they conceived of when they started. So a lot of people just won't even start. Thank you, Karen. A lot of people just won't even start because they're afraid that something will happen. Yeah, but if this happens and, I'm just going to lose money and whatever. They have excuses for every motherfucking thing. Stop making excuses. If you never start something, you're going to be stuck where you are. If you're constantly in your comfort zone every day, you're not growing and you're not living. What are you doing to get yourself out of your comfort zone? You can't complain about the same thing every single day over and over again for years, not doing anything to change it, and think that that's living your life. It's not. To be successful, you have to do what successful people do, and successful people are highly action-oriented. Now, I get stuck in these things a lot of times. Action-oriented. I start something, then I stop, then I do something else, and I don't finish things. I have so many different projects that I have not finished. So this also applies to me, being action-oriented, but staying actionable in the one goal or thing you're moving towards. I'm sure many people can relate. So we have to pick something, one thing that you're going to move towards. What is it going to be? One thing that you're going to move towards. I'm just going to focus on this. All the other shit can wait. So that I can actually accomplish something. Because if I'm constantly doing one project, other project, oh, I like this, you're not going to accomplish anything. What is it called? Jack of all trades, master of none. When we have so many things going on, we can maybe do a lot of things. Jack of all trades, master of none. I'm surrounding myself with people that take positive action towards their goals. It is helping me be more action-oriented. Robotic affirmations for health. Robotic affirmations is where it's at. I'll tell you that much. Again, surrounding ourselves with the right people energetically. Who was I talking to somebody yesterday? They were saying, this one person I'm around, they don't want to do anything. All they do is sit on their couch all day. I'm like, well, you need to get away from that person. You need to get away from the person that just sits on their couch all day and makes excuses for life. Get away, get away, get away. Those are called energy vampires that suck the life out of you. So if you want to go be on a road to nowhere fast, go hang around with people like that. Go hang around with people that don't do shit but make excuses. You are on the road to nowhere very quickly. Now it's time to take action. Enroll in the course, get the necessary training, call the travel agent, start writing that book, start saving for the down payment on your home, join the health club, sign up for those piano lessons, or write that proposal. Sometimes, a lot of times we have to make big decisions in life, and sometimes we just stall on doing that because we're afraid of what the outcome is going to be. If I buy this house, am I going to be able to afford the payments and da 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 da? You don't want to stay comfortable. We don't want to stay comfortable. We want to do one thing every single day that makes us uncomfortable. The last several days, I did several things that made me really uncomfortable. But I feel so empowered by the fact that I took the step, right? I felt so empowered that I'm like, I'm doing this. I don't care what the outcome is because I have faith that the outcome is going to be amazing. I wouldn't have this much passion and desire toward this thing that I should be doing if I wasn't supposed to be doing it, if it wasn't the right thing to do. Even standing up against people that are bullies, standing up against people that are doing wrong. When you have such a deep desire and passion to create change and to create fairness, you will walk in that until you have no choice but to knock on the door and say, and rip that person out and say, this ain't happening anymore. I don't mean that in literally physically ripping someone out, although I would like to do that. I mean that in a symbolic sense. I mean that in a sense of taking action, no matter what that looks like. So if we want to have all the things and have the amazing amounts of abundance so that we can have great experiences, we have to grab life by the balls instead of safely keeping your balls in your purse. You got to take them out. And you got to put them back in your pants. Say, okay, what am I doing today that's going to make me uncomfortable? What's one thing that I can do today? Whether maybe it's a phone call, maybe it's sending a text message, maybe it's sticking up for yourself, maybe it's speaking out against something that was really bothering you that you just haven't done, and you keep putting it off. You keep making excuses as to why you can't do it. Oh my God, I didn't get rid of the beep, Jen. You're just not noticing it anymore, just like me. I don't hear it anymore. The beep doesn't even exist in my reality. Okay, sorry. Hi. I just got that when I said it doesn't exist in my reality. So what was I don't know what I was doing. But I realized that so many things that existed in one of my timelines doesn't anymore. And that includes people, that includes events, that includes politically. Like there's so many things that literally don't exist in my reality anymore. And someone said, like, oh my God, did you see that they picked a new pope? And I was just like, the other timeline that I lived on, I knew everything about politics. I knew everything about worldly happenings. The new timeline that I currently live on, I don't know what's going on anywhere. Why? Because the things that are happening in that timeline and in that reality have such no effect on me that they actually don't exist anymore. I was getting my balls out of my purse, Jen. And I'm actually going to make a reel about that probably later, about being in a completely different reality. Some people that were really significant in my life, they also are still alive in this three-dimensional space, but they're not in my reality anymore, in my timeline. And it's very, I don't know if it's strange or what it is, but I live in a totally different timeline where people are doing really well. And I'm less in a timeline where tragedy is happening all the time. Like people are talking about the tariffs and people are talking about, oh my God, there's not going to be any food and because of China and all this stuff. It's like, I don't even live in that reality where that can happen. I've shifted out of that timeline as well. And it's really an incredible experience because people are still in your life that have always been in your life, but it's like you have to go back to a different place in order to reach them. Even if they maybe live across the street. It is the strangest thing, and I don't know if strange is the right word, but I'm living in a timeline where everything works out for me in the most amazing way. Whereas many times in my life, I chose timelines where everything was very difficult. I chose a timeline where everything was a struggle. I chose a timeline where I was in pain all the time. So when you shift your mentality and you shift your subconscious and you shift your programming, you're also shifting a timeline, because there's a part of you that still lives in that space somewhere. Because you can go back into your mentality somewhere and that still lives there. But when you tap into a different reality because you're choosing a different reality in your own consciousness, there's thousands of timelines happening. You can tap into the space that resonates with your soul instead of not being in harmony. Like when you're in a state of dis-ease, when you're sick, you're not in harmony. When you live in poverty and you don't have enough money for things and you can't afford things, you are living in disharmony. Because we should be able to have any of the things we want, not in a gluttonous way, but just in a way that it's just like, I'm in perfect harmony. I have all the things that I want. Right? It's like, I don't need anything else because I have all the things that I want. I'm in harmony with me. And what makes me happy, what makes me fulfilled, what makes me peaceful. I can afford all the things that I want, and a million times over. Right? We're just creating these new spaces and new timelines where struggle doesn't exist. We're going to just take a page from Think Yourself Rich. Ready? Flip, flip, flip. We're going to stop right here. Okay, this is the message. How to hear the gentle, invisible voices that can guide you to wealth. That's where I opened up to page 145. Your subconscious mind seeks to protect you at all times. So you should learn to listen to the inner promptings of intuition. Your intuition is different than your subconscious mind trying to protect you at all times. The subconscious mind is programmed for you to keep it safe. If that's the way that you were programmed your whole life. If you do this, this is going to happen. Don't cross the street, you're going to get hit by a car. So your subconscious mind is always trying to protect you. Your tuition is different than the subconscious mind programming. Your intuition is your inner guidance system. Your subconscious mind is not your inner guidance system. Your subconscious mind is the computer that's programmed to only play Call of Duty. You can't play any other game but Call of Duty. Or you can't play any other game but Jeopardy. That's the only program that's running. But your intuition is trying to override that and be like, no, go this way. No, do this. Your subjective self governs all your vital organs. It will continue to maintain them in equilibrium and balance unless your conscious mind intrudes with worry, anxiety, fears, and negative thoughts. These negative thoughts upset the divine norm within your deeper mind. Within your subconscious mind is the divine presence, which some call the higher self, the superconscious, the I am, or the Christ in you, the hope or art of glory. All these terms mean the same thing. Your subconscious mind is divine presence, higher self, superconscious, the I am, the Christ in you, God. But if you're constantly thinking negative things, that also becomes your God. That also becomes your subconscious, your I am, your Christ within you, even though it might be not for the favorable things that you want in life. It's your computer programming. God, higher conscious, there is no judgment there. It follows what you believe and what you feel. Your subconscious mind reacts to suggestion and the commands of your conscious mind. Because of this, you can train your conscious mind to recognize the promptings of your subjective mind in the right direction. When you are relaxed and your mind is at peace, your conscious mind is more closely in rapport with your subconscious mind. Then the inner voice of intuition is heard and felt clearly and distinctly. If we're not in a state of peace, and you're constantly in a state of anxiety or fear, worry, your inner voice or intuition will not be heard. You're not going to be able to follow your inner guidance system when you are allowing fear to override you. Because that fear is going to override your innate GPS system inside of yourself. So if you're afraid to take the risk of, I'm not going to buy this crypto because the market's going to crash. I'm not going to invest in these stocks. I'm not going to buy this property because of fear and not intuition. That's how we continue to program ourselves even further to live in a state of poverty. We will leave it there today. I hope that this was helpful for everybody on this Friday morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. And I'm sending you guys lots of love and the strength and inner guidance. The inner guidance to go in the direction that you're supposed to go, not in the direction that you don't want to go in because you're afraid, or you want to play it small, or you don't want to be as big as you possibly can be. Yes, I will repost this. Yes, I'm drinking my liver cleanse this morning. I will see you guys on Monday morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard. Have a beautiful weekend. Adios.